do it? Should I go back? That's sort of the most fun part.
Going to 124 decibel, 625, southwest tree 010.
You missed the fucking takeoff? Well, that's unacceptable. That's the most fun part. Okay, we gotta go back.
Charlie Uniform Mike, please expedite your climb 11,000 feet.
Well, guess we're doing that again. Great. World map. It's easy. You can load it from there. So go to the flight plan. What are with all the issues, dude? I don't know. So my laptop was still plugged in, but the fucking the port, like the plug in the wall broke anymore. Something happened. It was working fine an hour ago. Now it just doesn't work. The entire outlet is broken, so I had to swap it to a new one. Oh my god, dude. Okay, we're... Eight left. Gotta do all of them. Dude. I wanted one continuous flight, you know? It is literally just OBS. That is literally it. OBS crashed. The moment I tabbed back into it, it just crashed. I'm not like what I was doing.
Las Vegas Tower, November 6-9er, Charlie Uniform. Mike ready for IFR departure, runway 8 left.
I gotta do all this again. Let's pause it, do this, do this. I'm just gonna speedrun this. Do that. I don't know why this is here. Or these. I hate how they reposition themselves. It's really stupid. Let's put you guys down there. I don't need you anymore. Alright. Checklist down here. Put you over there. OBS will put you over here. This way I'll have chat closer to me, but not blocking my... See how it does that? Snaps everything around? Okay, that's so stupid. Alright. Course, map, CDI, 069. I'll just do it all with the mouse. Alright. We need to get the altimeter 300. Good. Gotta do all this again. Alrighty. Is it better now? Is it all smooth again? Is everything set correctly? Yeah, it is. Just gotta turn the parking brake off. Clear for takeoff. Oh cool, it's doing this bug again where it thinks the brakes are on, but they're not. Does this. the fuck on. Oh, so we did lose the VOD. The VOD did go away. Cool. Fucking kill me, dude. Why can't anything just fucking work the way I just wanted it? And now the game is bugged. Because why wouldn't it be? It thinks my brake is on. What's the keyboard control for brake? Control number delete. So number minus. So numpad delete. Okay. What is that? So it's a broken button. Okay. What about 8? Control home. No. Control delete. No. What's numpad delete? I don't have that key. That, okay. Control. I'm going to have an aneurysm, dude. Going to have an aneurysm. Did we lose the VOD? Is anyone still here? Like, tell me if we lost the VOD or anything. Yeah, we lost the VOD. Cool. Cool. Can't take off because the game is bugged. Oh no, we have it paused. I'm fucking stupid. Right? Yeah, that was why. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. See, that's what panicking does and stress does. We'll just call this attempt 3. Fucking get the fuck out of here. I hate videos. Nighttime. Remember we were taking off at sunset? Fucking fix this bullshit. The yoke is halfway off my desk. Come on. Get the fuck in there, dude. Well, it's a different VOD, that's what I mean. It split the VOD, so now it's not one continuous thing. That's what I wanted to do, dude. Come on, why is this breaking? Come on, dude. Can prep for everything in the world and it just all gets undone the moment you actually need it. We're going back. We're doing it all from the start. We're doing it from the top. Everything from the top. I'm not happy with anything right now. I'm also going to change the time and then swap it over later. Load. I don't know why it auto selects this or this. I told it not to. Good. Change the flight conditions. We're going there. I don't know why it's not letting me change the weather. It's not letting me change the weather. There we go. Do scattered clouds at noon, and then we can just change it on the fly. Let's try this from the fucking top. Yes, I did. I streamed it to an alt account for an hour and a half. I literally did exactly this for an hour and a half straight. From the top, literally verbatim, everything the same. I even left the setup in my room as is. Dude, I'm gonna fucking cry, man. I literally spent all of yesterday testing this. Everything that could go wrong, fine-tuning every setting in OBS in-game with my wireless, getting everything perfect until I was literally streaming it for an hour and a half with 0 drop frames at 75 FPS, with all of my, like, everything working. Nothing went wrong. I don't even know if I'm in the mood to do this anymore again. It's already 7 o'clock. Oh cool, the game's bugged. See that little dot? Means the game's bugged. I can't actually click go. Game bugged again. See this? Can't. I gotta quit the menu. I gotta quit the menu and do that all over again. That's a bug I haven't seen ever before in my life. Hey Jake. Fuck off. No, I'm not hopping on Barrow. There it is. Okay. Ignore the checklist. My mental is just destroyed, dude. My mental is just fucking gone. It's only satisfying if you do it right. Rushing it is not fun at all. It's only satisfying if you do it by the book right. Follow the proper procedure. That's the only of this. Broke the VOD in half. Do I just... The reason I'm so excited for this and so disappointed is I just want to show you guys, like, what I do. This is like me showing you my passion. Like, the thing I value most in life is this stuff. And having it just continuously spit in my face, it's completely ruining the experience for me. Think, should we just take it from the top tomorrow, or should we continue today? Because I wanted to do it with live weather and everything. I wanted to be like real simulation. I wanted to be like 1-to-1, as if we were doing this for real. And all of this stuff breaking and forcing resets is just ruining it. If it works now, I say go for it. I guess. Sure. We'll do it from the top. We'll go an extra hour. Oh, cool, my controllers aren't working. There we go. Oh, no, they're not working. No, they're not working. More things going wrong. There we go. Alright, let's do this from the top. Oh, I hit the wrong button. That's the bad button. You never want to click that button. Okay, it didn't crash. Let's try it again. Let's go into it with a new attitude. Alrighty. Let's try again. I hate how it does this. Come on. From the top. From the top. Oh no, it did it again. Cool, look at that. Let me try something. Gotta restart. There. Alright, let's do it all from the top. Don't know why this turns on every time. Oh, cool. No, it is broken. I can't get the hotbar open to get ETC there. I have to reload the flight again. Yeah, it still won't show up. Gotta go back to main menu. Thing is, it's never this buggy offline. It's literally never this buggy when no one's watching. It's never had... I never experience these issues in the hours I play offline, and I hit the wrong button again. It's only... and I'm not even streaming from this PC. As far as this system is aware, it's not doing anything relating to stream. There's no OBS doing anything weird. OBS isn't outputting anywhere except with NDI, and that's super basic. Oh, did the wind shift? It did. The wind shifted. Cool. Well, that's a longer taxi route. That's pretty cool. That'll at least be a change and interesting. Oh, look. It happened again. Happened again. And I have to restart the game. I actually have to restart the game. Really, dude. Can I get it open with the keyboard control? Control C. Nope. I have to Alt F4. I like when OBS on my main PC crashes as well. It's not even doing anything. Do you work now? Do you work now? Cool. That's what I wanted to happen. Okay. It works. Oh my god, it works. Look at that. Wow. Checklist, ATC. Alright, we're doing it. We're doing it live from the top. Alright, this doesn't work. Alrighty. We're doing it live from the top. How about that? Alrighty. Control locks off, parking brakes set. All switches off, circuit breakers off, landing gear down. Fuel selector main. Trim tab is neutral, battery switch on. Nav lights on. Let's just do live weather. I don't care if it's nighttime. We're doing a night flight. Fuck it. It's the most satisfying way it'll happen. Whole reason I didn't start this at my normal stream time and my overlays are gone. Cool. Okay, cool. Add desktop panel. OBS. Add desktop panel. Oh, they closed. That's super cool. Wow. Everything I needed is gone. My Chatterino is gone. Because that makes sense. Chatterino. Alrighty. Then last one. Edge. Turn the lights on. Alright. Nav lights on. Fuel quantity full. Flight tab remove and exterior inspection complete. All warning lights. So all the lights. Yep, they're working. Warning lights. Good. 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 Fuel. Good. Cabin heater on. Good. Throttle open an inch. Mixture full forward. Cowl flaps. Deflector right main, left main. That's good. Engine start. Left fuel pump low. Alright. Prime it. Good. Now right engine. Fuel pump low. Primer on. On. Oh, these aren't pinned. That's an issue. Hope you guys are ready for round 2. Attempt number 5,000. We gotta put you on in the back seat. Go here. Options. Oh, remember that doesn't work with. Oh, it does. Okay. Configuration. Rear right. And turn on your cabin light. There you go, chat. There's your cabin light. That's not ominous at all. Oh my god. Can you fly fighter jets? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Right. Mix master, oil pressure, everything's good. Green. RPM is good. Map. Default view. Alternator is good. Forward taxi, wing flaps up, avionics on, lights required. Everything here is good. Taxiing. So, let's turn into clearance, 1180. Doing this all over again.
Clearance delivery November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike IFR to Austin, ready to copy.
November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike is cleared to Austin Airport as filed. Take off runway 26 right, climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure frequency is 133.95 squawk 0657.
339. So 0657.
November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike cleared to Austin Airport as filed.
57.
Take off runway 26 right, climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure on 133.95 squawk 0657.
Charlie Uniform Mike readback correct. Contact ground on 127.9er. Good day.
127. Oh, let's get the ATIS first. Okay. The fuck is the ATIS? Here we go, 1324. Swap over.
Las Vegas Airport information, Mike 01 Zulu. Wind tree 59er at 4. Visibility 10. Sky condition 6,500 feet scattered. Temperature 19er. Dew point 10. Altimeter tree 0.00. ILS Yankee runway 26 left and ILS Yankee runway 26 right in use. Landing and departing runway 26 left and runway 26 right. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions.
79.
Advise controller on initial contact. You have Mike.
Okay.
Ground November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike with November ready to taxi IFR.
November 69er Charlie Uniform
No,
Mike
we're just
taxiing
leaving now,
short
and
of runway
I'll
26 right via taxiway Hotel Juliet Foxtrot November cross runway 1 left November cross runway 19er left November Delta Charlie Bravo.
My God, what a
118.75
fucking taxi
when
instruction!
ready.
Holy fuck!
Taxiing hold short
Oh
runway
my
26
God.
right using taxiway Hotel Juliet
1875.
Foxtrot November cross runway 1 left November cross runway 19er left November Delta Charlie Bravo Charlie Uniform Mike.
Alright. Hotel Juliet Foxtrot November. So, Hotel Juliet. So we're going, I don't know if you guys can see, but Hotel Juliet Foxtrot. Where is, okay. Hotel Juliet Foxtrot all the way down there. Crossed runway 1 left. Yep. Cross 19 right. Cross 1 right. Wait, November Delta Charlie Bravo. So, where the fuck are we crossing 1 left? Hotel Juliet Foxtrot November. We're crossing at November. Okay. So there, cross there, cross there. Then November Delta Charlie Bravo. November Delta Charlie. Wait, what? November Delta Charlie. Why is it making me go on Charlie? Charlie's not relating to that. Oh no, Charlie, then Bravo. Okay, all the way to the end there. Okay, cool. I get it now. Alright. So let's lean for taxi. And then take the parking brake off. Alright. So back up here. It's gonna be like a 20-minute taxi, I think. We're gonna be so late. That is definitely an insanely weird taxi instruction. So, Hotel Juliet. So we're exiting on Hotel up here. Up to Juliet at the top. Hotel Juliet. So hard to see what the fuck is happening. Crossed 1 left. I don't know why I said 1 left, it's 19. Cross up here, Hotel Juliet, Foxtrot November. Where's Foxtrot? Wait, hold on. Hotel. God, this is such a fucking annoying taxi instruction. Hotel Juliet. What? Foxtrot November. Cross 1 left. Bitch, that doesn't put me on fucking Juliet. That puts me on Foxtrot. Oh my god. The AI doesn't... I don't think the AI knew what it was doing with this taxi instruction. We're going back. I don't think it knew what the fuck it was doing with this taxi instruction. Does not match up with the airport I'm on. Doing something illegal right now, but this is actually just the game bugging out. So I'm gonna restart. I'm gonna go back. We're going back. All right, so this is hotel. So hotel Juliet. It just wants me to go on Foxtrot. Juliet's not even... It doesn't want me to actually go on Juliet. That's the biggest issue with this reading. Juliet... Actual ground would ever give the instruction for Juliet here, because you aren't actually going on Juliet. Look, you can even see it in the sign right here. Hotel and Juliet. Okay, so go Juliet on the right here. But see, you're immediately on Foxtrot. You would just ignore this. So you're going around right here. Foxtrot November. Then we cross the runway. Okay. Yeah, welcome to why usually you have the taxi diagram on there instead of reading a paper chart, and why they would never give me that. They would tell me go November Hotel Sierra, cross 19 right, hold short, 16 left, 16 left, or 16, I forget which one that is. So this would be November. Cross here. Also, they would never tell you to cross 2 runways at once. You always hold short the second runway. So November cross, November Delta, keep going across. We're wasting so much fuel doing this. Then follow this and go right. Put us on Delta. Because we're Delta, Charlie Bravo. Turn left on Charlie. Dropping frames every few seconds? Really? My laptop's not saying it's dropping any frames. Okay, how about take this to Delta. We're on Delta. We take this to Charlie. Zulu. I see where we are. Particular one. That would be here. Bravo. Here we go. Charlie. Flips. Okay, Bravo right here. There is no more Charlie anymore on this runway. The taxi instructions are up to date. There's no more Charlie. Charlie got deleted. Because that's whiskey over there. Oh my god. Okay, whatever. We're just riding this. We're just going here. I think the chart and what's actually happening, is that a plane landing on the taxiway right in front of me? Yes, that is. Sir, this is not a runway. Holy fuck, that is menacing looking. What the actual shit? Guys, I think the game is bugged. Whatever, we ignore it. Oh, it's gone. It's a ghost plane. I like how my tail number I can see it's really thin. Literally a 20-minute taxi. I am not under the influence, excuse me. That aircraft was real. I don't care if it didn't show up on any flight logs or dispatch orders. That aircraft, that Spirit Airlines flight, it was real. I saw it. You guys saw it. It's on video. God, that's so ominous in the back seat. So ominous. Two six right. Okay. Alright. Let's do our run up right here. Parking brake set. Can't do that. Parking brake set. Throttle is 1800. Doing all of this again. Let's put you over here now. I don't really need you. Put you guys right here. Actually, I will need to do that, so... Parking brake set, we go to 1800 RPM. 100 RPM. Let's do all these checks again. Alternator is good. Vacuum system, green. Mags, check. Check. Rise in manifold pressure, drop in RPM. Rise in oil pressure, good. Back to 1800 RPM, flight control check, up, down, The rudder is good. Okay. Alrighty. Now, is there trim tab set? This trim definitely needs to be a bit more control. Door is closed and locked. Close the window. Ox pumps low. Cow flaps open. Mixture set for relief. Wing flaps up. Okay. I prefer to take off in this thing with that. With some flaps. Alrighty. Tower. Contact tower.
Las Vegas Tower November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike at runway 26 right, ready for departure IFR to Austin.
November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike altimeter, tree 0.00 wind tree 59er at 4. Cleared for takeoff runway 26 right.
Cleared for takeoff runway 26 right, November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike.
Take the parking brake off. Alright, you guys ready for takeoff back there? Ready? It's time to actually go. To actually fucking get out, get the Vegas really didn't want me to leave. Even the virtual Vegas really did not want me to get the fuck out of here. Alrighty. Props full. Mixture set. Proper runway. Airspeed's alive, engine instruments are all green. Whoa, whoa, wind, wind. Gear up. Alright. Flaps up. Trim it. On about its 500 to 700 foot ascent rate. Just the trim.
Charlie Uniform Mike contact Las Vegas departure on 133 decimal
5
9
squared.
Good day.
Going to 133.9 Charlie Uniform Mike.
Chips, thanks for the sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Las Vegas departure November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike is passing 3,100 feet, climbing 11,000 feet.
November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike Las Vegas departure altimeter tree 0.00 continue to KIDDS. November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike Las Vegas departure altimeter tree 0.00 continue to KIDDS as planned.
Continue to kids as planned, okay.
Las Vegas departure November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike requesting vector to next waypoint.
Charlie Uniform Mike continue to KIDDS turning and following heading 065 resume on navigation.
065, okay. Flight plan.
Charlie Uniform Mike, please acknowledge.
Yeah, I got you.
Continue to KIDDS turning and following heading 065 resume on navigation Charlie
Turn the
Uniform
fuel
Mike.
pumps off. should be simulating having noise canceling headphones on. It's so fucking loud. Headphone simulation on. There we go. Much better, much better. Alrighty. Climb checklist. 25 squared, cowl flaps open, fuel pumps on above, 12,000 feet, airspeed 115 to 130 knots. Cruise. The next checklist, okay. Alrighty, we're finally on our way. Did it crash or did anything go wrong on that or no? Please tell me no. Keep this open now, we don't need anything else for a while. Put you guys... OBS can stay over here, let's put you guys here though. And the long journey begins. Get to enjoy the sights. Reminder, this is a 5-hour journey, guys, so we're gonna be here for a bit, but we're not doing nothing. We'll put some video on in a minute once we're establishing cruise and we're outside the Las Vegas airspace. VATSIM version when? Oh god. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. We don't need this extended anymore either. Retract those. Don't need any of this other stuff either. Ooh, that's cool. Do we want the red light on? Let's leave it off for now. Oh, that's calming. There we go. Look at that. Alright, you enjoying your peanuts back there? Chat, you enjoying your peanuts? I'm literally going to put OBS right there. That's you guys. That's you guys right there. That's you. Hope you enjoy. Oh, we're getting above the clouds here. Let me plug my headset in. It's probably close to dying at this point. It's been 2 hours. Look at that. Look at the lights, too. Okay, we're about to break 10,000 feet right here. Turn the brightness down. Jeez. Go back to the settings here. System. Backlight. It said it's on auto, but I don't think it is. God, that's bright. And we'll go to here and do the same. Leave that on this view. Alrighty. Should be coming up on cruising altitude here in a minute. Oh, that was 10,000 feet right there. Is there a radar on that screen? No, there is not. I could pay. So they do have a weather radar available, but I have to pay for it. See, if I go here, I can turn all this stuff on, but it's like $40 or something like that, or it's a monthly subscription or something. So no, we don't have weather radar. I thought about doing it. I should have, but I thought this would be like a one and done thing, not me having to repeat it and retry it 1,000 times, you know? Envoy, thanks for the sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, it makes sense that it costs money, honestly, because it is a real aviation. Like, it costs money in the real, like, aviation world, too. All that stuff. They're using, like, actual data that would be in the airplane. It's not just, like, generic off the internet weather. It's legitimately, like, the same service that you would be getting in the actual airplane.
Charlie Uniform Mike, contact Los Angeles Center on 124.625. Good day.
625.
Going to 124.625 Charlie Uniform Mike. Los Angeles Center, November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike 10,900 feet.
November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike Los Angeles Center altimeter 29.97. Continue to lap in as planned.
Where are we still climbing? $2,907. Okay, fine, I'll do it this way.
Charlie Uniform Mike, contact Las Vegas, departure on 133.905. Good day.
3395, okay.
Going to 133.905 Charlie Uniform.
Alrighty.
Las Vegas departure November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike 11,100 feet.
November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike Las Vegas departure altimeter 29.97. Continue to Brahma as
Props
planned.
back.
Charlie Uniform Mike, contact Los Angeles Center on 124.625. Good day.
Clean the mixture for PTGT. Man, they're just really handing me off. 124.6. I was just on 124.625. Bro, they're slapping me around, throwing me around. What the fuck?
Los Angeles Center, November
What the fuck,
69er,
bitch?
Charlie
None of them
Uniform
want me.
Mike 11,000
None of
feet.
them want me.
November 69er Charlie Uniform Mike Los Angeles Center altimeter 29.96. Continue to meet as planned.
Yep, alright, continue. Next waypoint would be Meade. So to give you a perspective of how far we have to go, chat, that's how far. All the way there. We're going across the country. But we should be making good speed at this altitude. How many waypoints? A lot. We're going on Victor Airways. We're not doing anything direct. We're traveling on the Victor Airways, so it fills in every point along the route. Alright. We can close the cow flaps now, especially because it's cold air already. Mixture is lean, cruise power set, aux pump low when switching tanks. Alexa,
Charlie
never mind.
Uniform Mike, contact Los Angeles Center on 124.2. Good day.
242. Okay.
124.2
Alexa, 90-minute timer.
Charlie Uniform Mike.
Okay. We're gonna swap the tanks every 90 minutes. 2.5 hours? No, 5 hours. Get comfy. We're gonna put some videos on or something in a second. Because, I'm pushing, getting comfortable. You should too. We can put some videos on in a minute once we're all established outside of this area. Oh yeah, we gotta contact them.
Los Angeles Center, November 6-9er, Charlie Uniform, Mike 11,000 feet.
November 6-9er, Charlie Uniform, Mike Los Angeles Center altimeter, 29er.905. Continue to meet as planned.
Let's turn these cabin lights on as well. Night vision, who cares? There we go. Oh, these are the mic jacks. Okay, passengers. God, that's bright. Yeah, let's not have that on. But you good? You good, Jerry? You good back there, chat? You good? Sure you don't want to take your phone out or anything? Alright. I'll leave you be in the dark. No, let's just do the backlights. Alrighty. Poke our head out the window. It's so dark out. Let's make this smaller and put it somewhere a little less in the way. But we can't make it smaller. Okay. Let's just put you down here. Well, we can make it smaller. We'll do right here. Everything will go off to the right here. We won't need the cruise checklist for a while even. Yeah, noise cancelling headphones are fucking amazing. Oh, we're doing the turn to the next waypoint. So we're over a lake right now, but it's impossible to fucking see. During all my test flights I could see it though. This is why I wanted to start the flight during the day and not have this giant delay so you guys could see what's going on outside. It's Tel Aviv. Waiting for dual lean of peak right there. Lean of peak. Who cares about damaging the engines a little? So let me explain what some of this is now. If I were to do this, turn. See these yellow, well, these red knobs right here, chat? These are the mixtures. So in an airplane, generally you manually control the fuel-air mixture. So you can't really control the amount of air entering the engine to an extent. So what you do is you can control the mixture. So the higher up, so there's an optimal fuel-air mixture. You can lean it to use less fuel. So if you want to go a bit more on the cruising side, you could pull the power back and then lean the mixture back so you're using less fuel and going a little bit slower. That's like an economy cruise. We're pretty full power because we're high enough on altitude where we're honestly not using that much power because of the low air. The air is thinner at 11,000 feet, so what you need to do is you need to basically tell the engine to receive less fuel to match the amount of the density of the air coming through. Same thing with temperature and all that stuff. Density of the air and everything changes the performance of the engine, so you need to account for the fuel. And you can see EGT right there change when I'm moving this. That's the exhaust gas temperatures. That's how much it's basically combusting inside the engine. How efficient it's being. So peak EGT is when it's burning the most fuel most cleanly. So you want to lean it to the peak, and then there's two different ways people do it. There's rich of peak, which is putting a little bit more fuel back in to keep the engine cooler once you're at peak. And then there's lean of peak, where you go to peak and then you pull it back a little bit more. It makes the actual engine itself a little bit hotter, but it gives you the most performance and fuel for this power setting that you have. Some pilots do rich at peak, some do lean at peak. Sort of preference. Let's see. You can also see the fuel gauge right there. That's how many each engine, how many gallons per, or pounds per hour it's burning. So this plane measures its fuel in pounds, pretty much. 6.6 pounds per gallon of 100 Lillard aviation gas. So each engine is doing about 70 pounds an hour. So, Alexa, 70 divided by 6.6. So each engine's doing about 10.6 gallons per hour, which is about right for the power setting. So that's 10.6, so that's 21.2 gallons per hour, because it's multiplied by 2 for 2 engines. Let's see. Each tank holds 51 gallons, so it's 10 per each side. So if we have 102 gallons, you're burning 21 an hour. 20, 40, 60, 80. That's about 5 hours, but we also have an entire other 2 fuel tanks. So the main tanks are in the wings. Those are the main tanks. And every 90 minutes you should swap to the secondary tanks inside the wings, and you do that down here. So you turn the fuel pump on and swap it over, and then you can check how much fuel is in those by flipping this. Right now is set to main tanks. And that would be the aux tanks. You can see how much fuel is in the aux tanks by holding this down. Those hold about 30 gallons each. So that's another 60 gallons on top of that. So that should give us plenty of range to get to Austin on one fuel tank. Okay, let's turn these off. So, should we watch some videos or something, chat? Anyone have any video requests? If not, I'll find something on YouTube. Let's get it up right here. Oh, this is actually a pretty fitting video.
Commercial flight.
We're getting a lot of airplane videos.
It's one of the safest ways to get around. In fact, the current fatality risk is so low that if you wanted to be in a fatal accident, you'd need to take a flight every day for over 25,000 years to give yourself a fair shot, and by the time you were finished, you'd probably have died of something else already, like heart disease.
Put it right here.
But every team has its weak links, and in the case of commercial air
We're
safety,
being bad. We're
those
watching
weak links
videos
are the
mid-flight.
120 airlines on the European Union's air safety list. And to clarify, yes, the list of unsafe airlines is called the air safety list. Not know why. Maybe because no fly list was already taken? We dropped the EU a line to see what this was all about, but all we got was an information-free form response. So if any of you know anyone at the European Commission, please ask them about this and leave a comment. Semantics aside, getting on the
Air Force Proud. So many people have talked about Air Force Proud with me. I don't watch him, no, because it's kind of like a flight simmer channel. It's not really actual pilot channel and pilot humor. It's funny as hell, though. It's just not my kind of thing. Oh, look at that reflection. Yo, the reflections. Like the, oh, in the sun visor. That's so cool. Sorry, I'm talking about the video.
Part of the UN that was having not one, but 2 week-long aviation safety meetings.
Nearly does that sim now?
Which
Ooh.
would have cost almost $2,500.
I haven't watched him anything recently.
Because, wow, turns out aviation safety is a gate-kept hobby for the bourgeoisie elite. Do better. ICAO has identified these 8 critical elements, which encompass everything from having some kind of civil aviation authority, to a qualified staff of inspectors, to pilot licensing systems, to a way for the government to identify and address safety issues at individual airlines. You can actually take a whole online course about these standards, but for a civilian it costs $800, and I gambled away my last $800 trying to get enough money for that week-long aviation safety meeting in Canada. Do better. ICAO standards don't actually concern themselves with individual airlines' safety. Instead, these standards are about making sure that if an airline from a given country has a pack of rowdy toddlers flying a bunch of dinkmobiles to and fro, the country itself would find out and put a stop to it. Failure to meet these standards is enough to get all of a country's airlines banned from the United States and the European Union. In fact, this flavor of ban accounts for 101 of the 108 carriers on the EU's naughty list. A further 22 are banned for being from Russia because on the list of uncool things
Charlie
Russia did
Uniform,
last few
Mike
years, they
contact
refused
Los
to return
Angeles
500
Center on
planes that had been leased to
134
Russian
decimal
companies,
65.
then registered them as their own,
Good day.
which invalidated their certificates of airworthiness that had been issued by, for some reason,
1 tree for
Three,
decimal
four.
65
so
Charlie
now the EU
Uniform
feels
Mike.
there's not enough reliable certification of those planes' safety, so Russian airlines are banned. For all you math whizzes out there, that still leaves 5
Los Angeles
more
Center,
banned
November
airlines.
69er,
These
Charlie
are the
Uniform
true
Mike,
bad
11,000
ones
feet.
of the bunch. The ones with records so uniquely
November
concerning that
69er
every
Charlie
other airline
Uniform,
in their
Mike
country
Los
is
Angeles
cleared to
Center
fly the
altimeter,
European skies,
29er
while they
decimal
are
94.
specifically
Continue
and
to Milky as
exceptionally
planned.
not. So let's meet them. First off, we've got Iran's Asamon Airlines and Venezuela's Avior
Four.
Airlines. The EU
There we
Aviation
go.
Safety Agency isn't super forthcoming with what the problem was with either of these beyond vague safety concerns. But Avior caught a ban in 2017.
Oh, because they're from
shortly after a
Iran,
landing a flight
maybe?
in Ecuador, on which passengers said they smelled smoke and saw
You guys
fire.
even hear the
And
video?
if you're asking yourself, wait,
Should I
how
turn
many
the game
flights was
volume down a bit?
Venezuelan airline operating to Europe in the first place? Well, I don't know. But it doesn't matter because the EU puts airlines on blast regardless of whether or not they actually fly to Europe, in line with the continent's long history of not minding their own business. Up next, we've got Suriname's Blue Wing Airlines, who've been put on the air safety list before.
I think we'll
got
watch
off
the
in
new Summoning
2007,
Salt video
and
after
got
this.
back on in 2010 after having 3 small planes crash in bad weather in a span of 25 months. If you go to their Wikipedia page, it's only got 5 sections. One is references,
Way to
and of the
make it
other
less
4,
bright.
half are about
Jeez.
accidents. Also, on the fun side, you can find out that they're based at the Zorg and Pulp airports, which is a really cool name.
I don't think I can.
Air Zimbabwe got banned in 2022, having grounded a bunch of planes for engine failures and malfunctions, and also having been in over $300 million worth of debt in April of that
Oh my
year.
God.
They used to fly a route from Zim to Gatwick, and they really want it back, so they've been paying their debts and getting new planes, which they're hoping is enough to convince the EU to reverse the ban. Time will tell. Our last baddie, Iraqi Airways, has been banned since 2015. Again, there's not a specific given reason, but they are getting
Are we only
31 new
164
planes in an
knots?
attempt to get the ban lifted, so maybe an aging fleet was part of the problem. But their bad reputation comes from more than just a few retro aircraft. In 2020, a pilot got in trouble for letting a model into a cockpit when he was supposed to be flying the plane, and in 2018, a pilot and co-pilot were both suspended after getting into a physical fight with each other while, you guessed it, flying the plane. And what, pray tell, was the fight about? Thanks so much for asking. It was about the co-pilot's dinner. So, if you're banned, what can you do? For starters, you can wet lease, meaning have another not banned airline operate a flight that you sell tickets for. But shaking a bad boy reputation is hard, so if you want to actually get off the list, you've got some work to do. First, of course, you gotta fix whatever issue got you banned in the first place. Then, for individual airlines,
Dragons,
both
thank
they
you for
and
the
their state have
tier
to
1
send
sub.
written
Thank you, thank you, thank
explanations
you,
of how
thank
good they are
you.
now, then meet with both the EU Air Safety Commission and representatives from the member
Thank you.
states, then have an on-site visit, and do a bunch of hearings. And if all that goes well, the Commission might reconsider. So, yes, the EU bans 128 airlines from their skies, and no, they're not also disastrously unsafe.
After this, I'm gonna look at the winds lost in this area.
But they
I think
are,
they've
for
changed.
various reasons, riskier than
So I chose
the
11,000 feet because it was the best
rather
winds
people
for what we're doing.
chances.
So we'd have a better tailwind and get there quicker. What's the... Let's go to Sky Vector. Alright. Forget, does this give me winds aloft? Don't actually think it does. A aviation aviationweather.org. This is the official like aviation weather source. So weather, winds, nope. Oh, wow, okay. 12,000 feet. It's lagging. It's lagging. Okay. Where is Las Vegas technically on this map? Smack dab in the middle. So northeast of San Diego. San Diego is right here. It would be about right here. Looks like this is still the best altitude. These are little wind. Basically, the winds. Let's just look at one of them. Each length, the length of each one of these little notches, and how many there are is wind speed. It's actually a legend right here. We probably look at. See, yep. 15 knots, 60 knots. The more there is, it's hard to read actually. So it's each one is 10. So a half length is 5, a full length is 10. So, oh come on, let's not go that far out. So around here, it's all about 10 knots. Generally, wind is stronger the higher up you go. That's why you generally want to cruise higher. That, and because the thinner air means your true air speed generally ends up being a bit faster because your speed through the air doesn't really change much. You do lose a bit of engine performance, but it generally balances out. That's the very simplified version. Let's just look at the text-based version. PyReps. I did not want to look at PyReps, actually. I wanted to look at the wind temperature data. Nevada. The South Central? It's not letting me actually select them. There we go. Pacific Coast, Alaska, Hawaii, West Pacific. That is South Central. South Central. Load data. Where's LAS? Oh, that's cool. Thing was popped up that was preventing me from typing. Is Las Vegas not one of these? Oh god, okay. What would Vegas be? Rocky Mountains? 1 sub equals 500 XP. 1 sub is 500 XP. Each cent that you send, each cent that you contribute is 1 XP. So $5 is 500. That could be bits, or it could be subs, etc., etc. What region is Las Vegas in? BBQ, Albuquerque. There we go. Las Vegas. Here we go. So it is Rocky Mountains. Forecast. Impulse, thank you for 18 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Las Vegas. But 9,000 feet, it's 180 at 20. 12,000 feet is 190 at 26 at 26 knots. Be minus 2 degrees Celsius. So that would be 80. So we have a bit of a headwind. That's kind of annoying. It's kind of not a total. We do have a bit of a headwind, yeah. Not a bad one, but. Wish I had my phone on me. Wait. No, I can't do that. If I had my phone, this would be a lot easier to check. I remember SkyVector giving wind data. Forget how. It's been so long. SkyVector. C'est la vie. If media share can be tied to bits, it'd be cool if you could do that. I don't know. Can you do bits for media? Anyone know? We can set it up live right now. Media share complete guide. Here we go. God, that's bright. Use media share. You add the media share widget to each overlay you want it to be used at. You can use a duplicate widget. Like, why do you need an? Well, I guess that would be that. Yeah. Okay. Let's make this dark mode. This is blinding me. Oh, I can't. I have to capture my desktop. I have to capture my desktop to do that. Oh, no. Oh my god, that's bright. I don't want developer tools. Fuck off, no. Dark mode.
Charlie
Thank you.
Uniform, Mike contact Los Angeles Center on 124.85. Good day.
2485.
124.85
The only one on the radio
for
right now.
Charlie Uniform Mike.
Alright. Swap that over.
Los Angeles Center, November 69er, Charlie Uniform Mike 11,000 feet.
November 69er Charlie
we
Uniform
don't
Mike
have
Los Angeles
real-time
Central altimeter 30.00. Continue to Casey as planned.
We're already 100 miles away from Las Vegas, guys. 1/9 away we go. We are live. I thought we had a live track. Well, is there a way to check that on here? Whatever. So, I just hit my fucking yoke. Let's just go to my stream elements and check. Media request, here we go. Settings. It has to be via tip, okay. No, we can't. We can't do it with bits. That sucks. We'll just do video suggestions. You guys can just suggest any video. I already watched that one. What about... Let's do a long form video. Summoning salt. Let's do another. Let's do a summoning salt video. What was the last summoning salt video? The infamous history of level 5-2. I don't think we watched this yet.
This is level 5-2 from Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. It's a game known for its difficulty, and 5-2 was designed to be no exception. Brutally difficult, but completable with experience and practice.
3000.
When speedrunners began playing this game, they expected 5-2 to be just another level they had to conquer. But as they tore it apart, they found that 5-2 was anything but ordinary. This level has challenged speedrunners like none other. Hundreds of hours have gone into breaking it down. But it's a puzzle that keeps gaining new layers. Where else? Strategy is unique to this level. Mario games are known for their speedrunning tricks. But there's no level with the history of 5-2.
Look at this highway right next to us. Cool. What the fuck? Sky City. We look so much lower than we are. Reminder, we're at 11,000 feet right now. Is there a way to see the terrain around us?
What makes 5-2 so unique? Well, it begins as a straightforward stage. You run forward while dodging Koopas and Piranha Plants. This can be tricky without slowing down, but with practice you can time your jumps so it's no issue. But 5-2 gets interesting after running past a long upside-down pipe. This block contains a vine, which, when climbed, sends you to the World 8 Warp Zone. So 5-2 is a gateway to the final stretch of a Lost Levels speedrun. Now, the beginning of the stage and the Warp Zone itself are both pretty straightforward. You can just run and jump without stopping. But the challenge comes from the transition. How do you get from the underground section to the Warp Zone as quickly as possible? Well, back in 2004, tool-assisted speedrunners tried to answer that question. Biscuit published a task in February 2004 where you hit the block from below, then landed on an elevator and rode to the top.
Look at where we are.
It worked, but it was pretty slow.
We're cheating on the weather
a few days later, he found a faster method. With precise movement, you could barely land on this higher elevator, then just jump up and climb the vine. This was faster, but there was still one frustrating element. After exiting the screen, you have to sit there and wait for 5 seconds while a video climbing the vine plays. This is universal anytime you climb a vine in Super Mario Bros. It's not unique to 5-2. But it did slow the stage down quite a bit.
Should we go real-time weather, or should we go...
Biscuit's methods from 2004 were fast, but a question still remained. Can you somehow get rid of this 5-second cutscene?
Should we go all real mode with it?
Welcome to 2008. The best Super Mario player in the world is a man known as Andrew G. Andrew is synonymous with Mario speedrunning. He's held the Mario 1 record for years and is so far ahead that he's gotten bored
every once in a while to see what's around
now,
us.
he's playing its sequel, The Lost Levels. Andrew began running the game in mid-2008 and initially played 5-2 like others did.
Still, look how pretty that is. God damn. Alright. Real time.
But then, Andrew decided to try something new. See, whenever you leave the screen, the game determines where you go based on a value called the area pointer. In 5-2, once you pass the right lip of this pipe, the area pointer changes to the warp zone, which is why the vine takes you there. But the game doesn't care how you leave the screen. You can either climb a vine or go down a pipe, and you'll be taken to the same place. Except the cutscene only plays when you climb a vine.
Too bright.
If you arrive somewhere via a pipe, you simply spawn in without fanfare. So even though you're intended to use the vine, accessing the warp zone with a pipe would save about 5 seconds.
Why did that auto
If
mod
only we
hold
could
that
find
crazy smart girl with fucking
These
auto-modded?
upside down pipes were
What the
new
fuck?
to the Lost Levels,
Skeleton.
and they
Hi,
put
hi,
one
hi.
right next to the warp zone. This would be perfect.
We're doing good.
Except you can't enter upside down pipes. None of
Right
them
now we're
across
sort
the
of
entire
idling over
game.
the last
A
Nevada
lesser man
desert.
would be discouraged.
Watching
Andrew
videos
G
while we
simply
wait
said,
to get to Austin.
"How about I do this instead?"
Break the video over a little.
This is a normal pipe. You enter from the top. This is an upside down pipe. Its pieces are simply reordered, not rotated, so it's still accessible to enter from the middle. And normally, if you jump into the edge of a block, the game just ejects you out. But here, the game pushes you into the edge of the screen and no
I
further.
keep monitoring.
So you can't exit the pipe, and by mashing jump to clip further inside, you can go down the middle. Andrew G had found the first human viable method of a 5-2 wrong warp. Andrew entered the pipe with a 349 on the timer. It counts down from 400, so the higher the number, the faster you were. There were few speedruns of the Lost Levels back in 2008, so Andrew's 349 was the time to beat. However, his platforming was pretty messy, as he picked up a star and missed a jump to the pipe. This was Andrew's first speedrun of the Lost Levels, and he wasn't going for perfect optimization. So, don't get me wrong, Andrew's pipe clip was revolutionary, especially for 2008. But it was clear that his run of 5-2 had room for improvement. The first improvement came the next year, and it was a big one. In 2009, a player named Agwawaf was able to get a 357. It was pretty much what you'd expect. He used the same pipe clip as Andrew while cleaning up the earlier platforming. Yet it still wasn't perfectly clean. He had to stop and scroll the screen a bit more before jumping back across the gap. In the end, it was enough to save roughly 3 seconds over Andrew G. The following year, Andrew came back for a more optimized run of the game, and he ended up getting the cleanest version of 5-2 we've seen. In addition to a smooth ending, he also skipped doing a backwards bump. It's easier to set up the pipe clip if you do a backwards bump early in the level. This changes Mario's position on the screen, so there's more wiggle room when jumping back across the gap. This was the first iteration of 5-2 that skipped the backwards bump, and he ended up getting a 360 on the timer. It saved 3 in-game increments, or about 1 second. For the next few years, this was the strat, a wrong warp without bumping. It was risky, but it was the fastest strategy around. But after 4 years, in 2014, the world record changed hands. Blubbler took the top spot, and with it came a minor update to 5-2. This was a
4
very
hours
smart
and
idea
40
to make the
minutes.
strategy more consistent. You
We
start
actually
by doing
viewed
2
that.
bumps, one forward and one backward. Then, by brushing off this block and rebounding to the left, you can quickly make it back across the pit. When combined with the 2 bumps earlier, this scrolls the screen just enough to leave a small gap next to the pipe, allowing you to complete the wrong work. This method is super consistent, and the rebound itself is fast too. But due to the bumps required to set it up, you end with a 3:59 on the timer, slightly slower than the 3:60 from the bump-free turnaround method. As a result, it sometimes loses a frame rule.
800 miles.
Oh yeah, you might not know what a frame rule is.
Look at it on the bigger map, make it easier.
Now, I know,
Info,
a lot of you already
airport.
know what frame rules are. So, we're gonna shake things up and see if we can
Weather
set a
available.
speedrun explained world record. At the end of each level, the game only checks for completion every 21 frames. Essentially, this means you can only gain or
820
lose time in
miles.
increments of 0.35 seconds for every level. The best analogy of this was created several years ago by Darbian. It's as if at the end of every level, a bus arrives every 21 frames to take you to the next level. Even if you miss the bus by 1 frame, you'll have to wait 20 frames to catch the next one. But it also means you don't have to play perfectly. You can be close enough to someone who did play perfectly and not lose any time. A frame rule lasts about 1/3 of a second, and an in-game increment lasts about 1/3 of a second too. So generally for each full increment gained, you save 1 frame rule. There it is, new world record. Bismuth's got nothing on me. Now, that was a lot of information, but the gist of it is that in 5-2, you can only gain or lose time in increments of 21 frames. And generally, if you've saved an in-game second, you've saved a frame rule. Despite being a little
Welcome to Real
slow,
Flying
the
Chat.
block rebound method
Minus
was
the
the
video.
strat from
It's a lot of
2014
hurry up
into
and waiting.
2015.
A lot of hurry
Its
up and waiting.
consistency was just too good
Sit
to
here
pass
and you
up.
listen to a
But
podcast or
typically,
music, keep your
every
ear
time
on
a
the
new
radio
record
and
holder
keep
took the
monitoring all the
reins,
engine
the
and
5-2 strategy
make
changed
sure
a bit.
nothing's going wrong.
And in late 2015, someone new got the Lost Levels world record. This runner was none other than Darbian. Yeah, in addition to being the bus metaphor man, Darbian also happened to be the
Going
best
to one
Super
two
Mario
decimal
player
five.
on 2015 through 2016. Initially, Darbian did the block rebound method too, even getting a world record with it.
Albuquerque Center, November
But eventually,
6-9er Charlie
he was
Uniform
looking
Mike
for more
11,000
time.
Yeah, the plane's automatically
So in
flying.
early
It's on autopilot
2016,
right now.
he decided to switch back to Andrew's bumpless turnaround, and he got really good at it. This got a 361 on the
How about
timer,
this,
and
guys?
saved
To make it
2
a little
frame
bit more
rules over the
interesting.
rebound method.
Make it a little bit more interesting. Every 5 gifted subs, I'll fly the plane manually for 10 minutes, so we'll double it. Every 5 gifted, I'll double it and go 10 minutes of hand flying. No, I'll do 5 minutes. 5 minutes of hand flying. If anyone wants to do that. 5 gifted, so oh shit. Let me put that in my overlay. Let me put that in my overlay. Redeems. Turn it on. Oh my god. Okay, Killer Rain. Okay, give me a second. Let me finish this. I'll set a timer as well. Alrighty. There, happy. Should be good now. Did it update? Alrighty. Let's move this out of the way. I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need this. Put the video back on
But
for you
even
guys,
this didn't satisfy Darbian. He wanted more time to save, darn it, and nothing was going to stop him. So in mid-2016, Darbian started trying to throw this into his runs.
I was not expecting it to happen that fast. Okay. Alright. Well, I'm not in a good shooting position.
This is a wall jump, and it's one of the hardest mechanics in Super Mario Bros. If Mario runs into a block side of it for 1 frame before being ejected out, if he's in the top 4 pixels of a block when he collides, and you press jump
Alexa,
on the
5-minute
1
timer.
frame he's inside, Mario will perform a wall
Immediately I
jump.
started ascending.
That's a frame-perfect trick within a
This is
4
like
pixel
IFR as
window.
well.
It's not easy. Wall jumps are used at times in full game speedruns, but typically only when it saves big time or when the alternative is more difficult. Essentially, the risk-reward has to be worth it. And in 5-2, the downside is it's a frame-perfect trick that kills half your
097.
runs. The upside is that it sometimes saves 1 frame roll. Yeah, as awesome as it looks, the 5-2 really caught on. The risk simply wasn't worth it. So, for the rest of 2016, 5-2 remained the same. After all that evolution, after all those modifications, they were back to a variation of Andrew G's 2008 strategy. It was the method that best balanced safety with speed, so it was what stuck with top runners. Speedrunning is funny. Sometimes your original ideas can't be beaten. And other times, you have no idea when something's about to come along and crush it.
Nose down trim.
At AGDQ 2017,
Are there hazards in this
Darbian,
game?
Andrew G, and Cosmic raced the Lost Levels. In 5-2, they all went for the turnaround strat, same as always. It was a fun race, and everything was standard. But a few days after this run, while the 3 of them were still at the event, they got a Discord message from somebody named Eden. Eden said that he didn't understand why they were doing such a slow method of 5-2. Well, it was the fastest strategy the 3 runners knew, other than the wall jump. Eden linked them to a Japanese Mario technique list, a website from 2004.
Over there.
And on that page,
That's where Breaking Bad and
something
Better Call
that
Saul
blew their minds.
altitude.
You just clip straight into the pipe. No need to scroll the screen extra. No need to jump back across the gap. Devil's Spell is a mechanic that Japanese ROM hackers found back in the early 2000s. As with the other wall clip method, when you jump into a block,
Alexa,
the game
add 5
tries
minutes
to
to the
eject
timer.
you out.
I'll do 10
However,
minutes each.
by pressing right while in the air, the game actually pulls you into the pipe, and it's only when you land that it ejects you out. So, by repeatedly jumping to stay in the air and holding right to get pulled in, you can eventually work your way into the middle of the pipe. This trick was right there in the open. It had been on Mana's technique list for nearly 15 years.
I have no idea what the fuck Alexa was
speedrunners
saying.
never found it.
Zero fucking
Once
clue.
Eden showed it to them, Cosmic, Andrew G, and Darbian spent the rest of AGDQ 2017 practicing the trick together.
Have you guys been paying attention to this? I haven't either. How much
They
vibration do
knew
you feel
Devil's
from
Spell
aircraft
was
this fall?
huge,
Not
but the first
a-
question was how much time did it actually save? The turnaround
Feature
strategy,
suspension, though, it's
an
not that
optimal
much,
time was
But
361.
as a pilot, you feel it all through the yoke,
At
because
AGDQ
everything's
with
going over the
Devil's
airflow.
Spell,
It's like all
they
the
were regularly
control
getting
surfaces.
363
There's
to
not that much
364.
vibration, it's not that bad.
A save of
It's the
2
same as
to
a car.
3
It would be
frame
identical
rolls.
to a car.
And as they went home and began implementing it in their runs, it got even better. With a really clean clip, runners were able to get a high 365 in their runs, saving 5 frame rolls over the turnaround. This was
It's
huge.
so hard to trim an
The
aircraft
biggest
when you're
5-2
fucking
time
doing it
save in nearly
like
a
this.
decade. And they
It's so
had
hard
an
to set
idea
the
to make
trim
it even
to not lose
faster.
any altitude.
There are 2 sides of the pipe, and
Feel
Devil's
anything on
Spell
the
is
plane?
possible on both. The left side would be faster, but in order for it to take you to the warp zone, the screen has to scroll enough. And to get it to keep scrolling, you have to start running once you're in the pipe. It's harder than the right side, and by having to make the screen scroll, it ends up not really saving time. But even right side Devil's Spell was tricky. In fact, it was harder than all previous 5-2 strategies, save for the wall jump. But the beauty of Devil's Spell was it didn't need to be done flawlessly. While a high 365 provided the optimal frame rule, that required perfect timing with your jumps, and immediately getting sucked into the middle. Times of 363 to 364 were more common, but that still saved time over the old strategies. Devil's Spell became an iconic trick in not just 5-2, but Lost Levels speedrunning as a whole. It looked so bizarre, and was a highlight of most runs. Darbian first set a world record with it in January 2017,
Alexa, 5-minute
just
timer.
weeks after its discovery. And it would become a staple of the Lost Levels for years. World record after world record was set, creating an example of the Devil's Spell. Some runs struggled with it. Others were unbelievably smooth.
Are we fast?
But Devil's Spell was always there. As the years passed and runners began to master the trick, they started to look beyond Devil's Spell.
Down.
The game's
That's
best
a classic
players have gotten
aviation way to
much
get the
stronger
to the
over
looking
the
down
years.
while flying IFR.
They could perform tricks that would have been far too
You
risky
instinctively
in
push forward on the
2010.
yoke and you start
And
losing
while
altitude.
Devil's Spell was a difficult trick, even that had started to become trivial.
Putting the
So,
weight of your torso
was there
down when you
anything
look
left
down.
on the table in 5-2? Well, there was one option. Recall that way back in 2004, Biscuit did a task of 5-2 that didn't use the wrong word. Now remember, tool-assisted speedruns are different from real-time runs. They're able to go frame by frame and re-record, in addition to using other tools, to create a theoretical perfect speedrun. Well, in 2006, thanks to
Drifting
Mr.
to the
Speed
right a bit
finding
too
that you
much.
can enter upside-down pipes, legendary taskers Phil and Janisto
Go for the win by
discovered the
doing this.
5-2 wrong warp. And their tool-assisted strategy, way back in 2006, was faster than anything that real-time runners had come up with in the years since.
Stop it.
The issue was that it was way too hard. Harder than Andrew G's turnaround method, harder than Devil's Spell, even much harder than the wall jump strategy. But now, nearly 15 years later, maybe people had improved enough to try it. This is the 5-2 task strategy. So it's obvious why this is faster than Devil's Spell. You barely
What's
even
this
have to
message?
slow down. But it's like the wall is liquid. How do you just run inside of it? Well, if Mario is running at full speed, he can potentially land 3 pixels inside the wall before he's ejected out. But just like
That
Devil's
should count
Spell,
for the win.
if you press left when you enter and repeatedly jump, Mario will continue to get sucked in. Once
A
you're
bit
fully
less
in the
than
wall,
heading.
you start running to scroll the
three.
screen, and can then go down the pipe. Now, several components of this trick were hard, but the real roadblock was just entering the wall. In order to land 3 pixels inside the wall, Mario's sub-pixels need to be correct. That's his positioning at a level more precise than just the pixel he's on. In normal gameplay, this value is essentially random. Nearly every small input you make with the D-pad
Flight Sim
changes
prices,
Mario's
Flight Sim
sub-pixel
2020.
value. So
Yeah,
unless
the
they
Quest
got
Pro
very
headset
lucky with
with,
sub-pixels, real-time
CH
runners weren't
rudder
clipping into
pedals.
the wall. Even though the strategy was found in 2006, it wasn't even considered in speedruns. But by 2018, a year after Devil's Spell was discovered, a bit
After
of
this, I'm gonna
progress
run
was
to the
made.
restroom.
They were trying to find a consistent setup for the sub-pixel value in order to make it a viable strategy. Top runner Takate was
I also
able to
left my
perform the
water
trick
over
using
there.
a save state shortly before the pipe.
Yes! 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 Yes!
And someone else managed to get it full level using a turbo controller. 420 Blaze It, the same guy who discovered the 4-2 wall clip setup in Mario 1. Over the next couple years, more players got the task strategy using a frame-perfect setup. but it was still considered far too risky to go for in runs. Needing a frame-perfect setup, combined with the difficult inputs at the pipe, meant it was an extremely inconsistent trick. They needed a better subpixel setup. In December 2020, HitsCrits found an amazing setup. By running off a ledge with down and right, and doing a full jump on any of the 2nd through 5th frames after you land, your subpixels will always be set up for the clip. Now, this still didn't make the trick easy, but at least the subpixel setup was nearly trivial. The question did remain: could anybody actually hit this in a run? Well, leave it to Niftsky, the current world record holder in the lost levels.
Oh my gosh, dude!
We've seen so many different
I have my
setups,
hands off the yoke right now.
so many ways to
Perfect.
clip into the pipe. But in reality, they were all just substitutes for the task strategy. And now,
Perfect
after
timing.
14
Timer's up
years,
too.
it had finally
Alexa,
been done.
dismiss.
This is the and level
Autopilot back
5-2
on.
is now fully optimized.
Altitude. Alexa, shut up.
So here's the task strategy.
Give me a second.
The task itself executes.
Give me a second, go to the restroom. Hopefully no one contacts me on the radio. Keep an ear on the radio, guys. Oh, I hope this doesn't shut anything off. I need to find a way to keep the headset on. Can you tell me to block this?
This.
Oh, okay. I'm back. No one contacted me on the radio. Got away. Oh, we flew right over an airport. Didn't even see it. Flew right over Albuquerque International Airport. I'm pretty sure, right? Well, FLG. What's FLG? What airport was this? Back. Nearest airport. Flagstaff. We just flew over Flagstaff. Okay. How far have we gone? Las Vegas. We are 200 miles out. We're 200 miles away from Las Vegas. So our flight's about 1,000 miles, so we're 200 of 1,000, 1/5 the way there. Chat, we're 1/5 the way there. We're making progress. We're slowly but steadily making progress.
When Nifsky, Hits Crits, and the rest did the pipe clip, they ended with a 367 on the timer. The TAS gets a 368. There's actually one more frame rule to save in 5-2.
So
and it
cool.
just so happens to be the hardest frame rule to save in the entire game. These are the inputs needed to save the
See
extra
what this looks
frame.
like during the day.
All of the following must be perfect, with just one frame of wiggle room. You begin with an underground fast acceleration just after you land. By pressing right, left, A, and right on subsequent frames, Mario will do a backwards jump and get up to full speed one frame faster. Later, you must manipulate Mario's subpixels with a down plus right press. Once you get to the pipe, you have to do a frame-perfect jump.
That's a pretty cool view. Greener than you imagined? Yeah. It is pretty brown though. What is that over there? Can I point at it? No? Okay. Closer than the ground than I would imagine. The altitude here is probably pretty high up. Let's bring it back to normal, real time. What was that airport? Nearest airport, Flagstaff. Field elevation here is 7,000 feet, so everything around us is 7,000 feet above the ground, so it's realistically, we're at 11,000 feet. We're only 5,000 feet above the ground right now, even though we're 11,000 feet MSL. Alright, let's resume the video. Has anyone been paying attention
frame
to
perfect
it?
height,
I haven't even been
and mash
I haven't
A
even
at
listened
precisely
to it.
15 presses per second to get 3 jumps. Exactly 3 frames after the last jump, you do a frame perfect
Reset the
down plus
altimeter.
right press, which gives Mario a tiny amount of speed. When combined with the earlier down plus right, it's enough speed to let the screen scroll early, and you can quickly go down the pipe. Finally, in the warp zone itself, you start with another frame-perfect fast acceleration, and later perform good warp zone movement. And if you do all that within 1 frame of perfect, you can save the TAS 5-2 frame rule. Cosmic saw the time save initially, but King of Johnny Boy is the one that found this setup in June 2021. For the next 6 months after this was posted, nobody even bothered trying. Mario runners are incredible, but this was just a little too much to ask. The amount of frame-perfect inputs required in a small span? Not even worth going for. But by early 2022, the frame rule did start to pique the interest of somebody.
Knots.
Once again, it was
The
Nifsky.
ground. That's about 200 miles an hour.
Nifsky is the best Super
1.15.
Mario player on the planet.
That's
If anybody could do
188
this, it
times
would be him.
1.15.
But even Nifsky didn't feel confident.
216
He decided to
miles
try
an hour.
breaking it up into different steps. Step 1. Use a save
Let's,
state as you enter the
189
pipe,
knots
and
to
try to
miles
get
per
the
hour.
screen to scroll quickly. And eventually,
Yep.
he saw results.
Yep, 1.15. We're going
Holy
217
cow!
miles an hour.
This was enough for him to stop, but 6 months later, he came back to it. And this time, he backed up the save state to before the pipe.
Oh my god!
Nifsky had successfully gotten the pipe entry. This was the hardest part of the trick. So, he tried doing full level attempts. But stringing everything together was a different story. He wasn't able to get it. So once again, he shelved the 5-2 project and had to go back to setting world records. Poor guy.
When cats fly.
Finally,
yeah,
in February
I'm fine with
2023, Nifsky
Fine
came
cat.
back again.
But I wish I could get
This
my
time,
VTuber working
he was
with this. I
committed to
could have
doing
with
the
my
full
laptop,
level.
now that I think about
After
it.
all the
Attach the
strategies
tracker
we've
to my
seen,
head and put my full
all
body
the
on.
innovations that brilliant
Kept my
players
wrist
came up
trackers
with,
on. I could have done some
they all
weird
built
jank
up to this
tuber
moment.
thing, but I think this is
Somebody
fine.
had finally gotten good enough to play out
This is
perfect 5-2. Now, Nifsky just had to execute it.
Why did the autopilot shut off? Excuse me? Whoa, descent rate, descent rate, descent rate. Autopilot, what just happened? It's leaning over my yoke. I think I hit it by accident. Okay. Descent rate.
I did it! Oh my god! Yes! Holy crap!
Stabilize, guys. Stabilize.
I imagine myself getting into warp zone and I did it! And I freaking
Send back
This has been the
down.
history of 5-2. Thanks for watching.
Is it possible to get a VRC overlay over this game? With my laptop I could. But I couldn't because I'm using my headset already. I would have to use Naruto or something to get a full body set up that way, but I wouldn't be VR chat over it. Well, maybe I could. I don't know if you can run 2 VR games at once. I think you can. Okay, why did the autopilot shut off? Okay. Well, that should fix itself there. Bro, we're still losing followers. I'm trying to get this fucker to fucking 9K. We're trying to get to 8K and it keeps going down. We were 889 earlier. What the fuck? Name a dwarf after you, Gotchi? Is that recent? I'd like to call him Frank, or was that a bit ago? Can't tell. A bit weird. 49. Alrighty. Let's find a new video. Why is my altitude not going down? Is nothing working? Can I click on it? Oh no, not this bug. Oh no, not this bug. Oh no. There we go. Got it working again. Come on. There we go. Do you watch I Did a Thing new video? I have no idea what you mean. What thing? What? Okay. Let's look at... Is there anything else interesting? Oh, that's not what I want to click. What should we... Any video suggestions, chat? Anyone want to watch anything? Anyone have any video
I
suggestions?
grew up not far from Niagara Falls, and when
Must link it, Gotchi. Link it. What's their other channel? Main channel, here we go. watch
In early
this, and then we'll watch whatever
a
Gotcha links
relatively
next.
small parcel of land along the iconic Canal Street.
I did a thing as a
Orleans
YouTuber who makes
finally
crazy
saw
contraptions
shovels in the
stuff. Link
ground
it. Let's
after
watch them.
years of proposals. The 350 Rock Hotel by 2019 was just topping up, rising nearly 20. So, as during the filming of my documentary Close for Storm, I was there. What I wouldn't know is that less than a month later, the structure would suffer a catastrophic partial collapse, sending debris flying, killing 3 workers, and opening up a mountain of legal scrutiny for those who were responsible. My name is Jake, and in this episode of Cancelled, we'll take a look at
I'd imagine they'd have a death wish here.
to the Hard Rock Hotel, New Orleans. This fits. So the site, 1031 Canal Street, has had a storied history like much of downtown New Orleans. Since the 1930s, a Woolworth store had occupied the land. Adorned with beautiful Art Deco motifs, it was a popular downtown department due to its role in 1960, as Woolworth's Diner was the site of a large city protesting the racial disparity in New Orleans. It was the first one to happen within the city, and it started a wave of protesting against Jim Crow laws across
Did they just
the area.
restart Stream or
Ultimately,
something?
the store would close in the mid-90s as a part of a company-wide decline, and the space would sit vacant for a year,
Put you right
changing
here.
hands a few times until 2005, when the structure was flooded following Hurricane Katrina. Still label-scarred with Woolworth, its interiors were destroyed, and would continue to sit that way, abandoned and awaiting new development. By 2007, the building and its land
Totally
was
not a
purchased
virus.
for
Twitch, you're
$3.6
kidding?
million
Who knows?
by
With how
an
moderation is
organization
these
called
days, Twitch probably doesn't think.
Log Company in New Orleans, with many of their key executives made up of the Kalis family. The plan was to build a large condo building on the site, ultimately asking City Council to raise the height limit from 70 feet to 190 feet. It was 2011 by this point, and after many delays in getting the votes needed by council, the proposal was finally passed. However, it wasn't without
Do it
controversy,
this way. I gotta copy the
especially
link.
2 years later, as in December of 2013,
right-click on
it
this.
was revealed that Praveen Kalis, one of the main family members overseeing this project, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit theft, admitting that he stole money from the Katrina recovery
Copy
system.
video
This was a
address.
very bad look, but city councilors essentially looked the other way, as they saw this as just one family member committing that crime, and saw great potential
I
in
can't address. That's so cool.
site. The proposed development
I think what I have to
could
do
inject
is-
much-needed economic fuel into the city and Canal Street. So the project moved forward, and
I
in
scroll,
October
or
of
like click and drag.
2014, it started with the demolition of the former Woolworth building. At the cost of
I think I have to click share.
$70 million, the proposed structure was
Copy
honestly
link.
pretty good. It was visualized as a large 19-story tower, consisting of over 255 condos, most of which with small windows and all covered with blue and beige cladding. Some ground-level retail stores and a large open lobby area would line Canal. This
There you go.
proposal was ultimately revised by the
Okay,
time
we'll
the
do that.
former
We'll watch
Woolworth
them in a
store
minute.
was demolished. Replacing it would be a similarly sized tower set to contain the same amount of condos within. This version, while still looking pretty
chat, are you
dated,
still
had some
alive? You
better
dead?
amenities like outdoor
Good?
terraces, a rooftop pool, and balconies. With the land now cleared and presumably ready for development, nothing really happened. The
Good?
site was dormant, with a lack of financing cited as the main issue. The parcel would
Turn the lights
continue to
off.
sit
God,
that
that's
way,
ominous. That's so
abandoned for a
dark.
few
Oh my
more years
God.
As developers search for additional development partners.
Oh God, how do I
They
find the
actually
lights?
found one in February of 2018, officially announcing their partnership with Hard Rock International, a massive hospitality company with a chain of restaurants, hotels, and casinos.
You guys
This
are
would
dead
turn
back
the
there?
development into the Hard Rock Hotel New Orleans, and now blend a hotel into the development proposal, including 350 hotel guest rooms, but still retaining some of the private condos, leaving just 62 of them. They would now become the residences at the Hard Rock Hotel New Orleans. 2 ballrooms would also be injected into this plan, totaling
Hero, go in your
12,000
bed.
square feet of
Bed,
dynamic
come on, get up.
meeting space. To tie
up.
off the whole
He
project,
wants
a few
pets. Type
restaurants
away.
and a
I'm sorry.
rooftop bar and lounge would literally top off the hotel
Puppy.
residence. Really, the
Puppy.
exterior design of
Go
the
in your bed.
structure didn't really
Bed.
change that much. In fact, the concept art for the building just saw Hard Rock logo slapped on it. Now, some
Bed.
further height requests were made, but
Boy.
the city denied it. We'll talk
Oh.
about that later. Nevertheless,
Here we
with
go.
the plan locked in and financing secured,
He's a bit too
construction
low for the
finally
camera.
started on the Hard Rock Hotel in Orleans.
Fix that.
While an opening
We're gonna
date of
step out of the
spring
plane here for a
2019
second.
was rather looking unlikely. Construction
Ooh.
was well underway by March of 2019.
We're outside the
As
airport.
The building began to rise
Oh
along
god,
Canal
that
Street,
did not
some
like that.
problems were beginning to rise with
That
it.
did.
The
Why
opening
did that?
date
Oh,
would
my
be pushed
chair
back
hit
to
my yoke.
2020, but as
No,
construction
no,
ramped up and
the chair
structure
hit the
began taking
yoke.
shape, in September of 2019, the
That's not a
electricians
good idea.
hired for the
Oh
project
god,
began
get back
protesting
up,
the
get back up.
conditions on the construction site. They claimed that project leaders had hired unlicensed and unqualified electricians, as well as miscategorized contract workers, essentially leaving them without insurance. Now, other sheer signs of negligence and likely critical errors and decisions were made during this time, and of course we'll talk about those later. But workers within were taking troubling videos of shoring poles bending.
Leave
after
wingtip
the penthouse
dancing for the
floors
1930s.
concrete.
I had to fix the
180
Nero
feet
cam, I'm
below
sorry.
was me. I
That was more
actually
important
out
than
on
my
Canal
life.
Street with a few of my colleagues shooting some B-roll for my documentary. It's called Close for Storm, and it's about the history of the abandoned Six Flags New Orleans theme park. This was our second trip there. We had just wrapped up one of the last interviews for the film. On one of our last days there, we had just decided to go out on the afternoon of September 18th to shoot some footage that we actually never ended up using. In the background of some of those shots, you can see the structure eerily still intact. 24 days later, on October 12th, 2019, disaster struck. At 9:12 a.m., the northern corner of the top floors suffered a catastrophic and sudden failure. Once the beams holding up the floors began to buckle, more and more critical supports began to fail. The enormous weight of these concrete floors began a domino effect and sent thousands
not
of tons
descending?
of steel and concrete pancaking on top of each other, especially with the added weight of heavy construction materials on the roof at the western corner. Construction workers flee from the collapse, and from the ground, Canal and Rampart Street is a disaster zone. The collapsing concrete floors cascade down the structure, ripping through the exterior insulation and sending a large section of the facade tumbling down. The buck hoist or construction elevator detached from the structure and falls
What
across
happened?
Rampart Street, puncturing the roof of the Sanger Theater. The whole collapse was only around
How did it
30
collapse?
seconds, but the resulting damage suffered. The
I need to rewind
electricians
this. I'm actually
hired
interested
for the
now.
project began protesting the conditions on the construction site. They claimed that project leaders had hired unlicensed and unqualified electricians, as well as miscategorized contract workers, essentially leaving them without insurance. Now, other sheer signs of negligence and likely critical errors and decisions were made during this time, and of course we'll talk about those later. But workers within were taking troubling videos of temporary shoring poles bending after the penthouse floor's concrete had been poured. 180 feet
God.
below was me. I was actually out on Canal Street with a few of my colleagues shooting some B-roll for my documentary. It's called Close for Storm, and it's about the history of the abandoned Six Flags New Orleans theme park. This was our second trip there. We had just wrapped up one of the last interviews for the film. On one of our last days there, we had just decided to go out on the afternoon of September 18th to shoot some footage that we actually never ended up using. In the background of some of those shots, you can see the structure eerily still intact. 24 days later, on October 12th, 2019, disaster struck. At 9:12 a.m., the northern corner of the top floors suffered a catastrophic and sudden failure. Once the beams holding up the
How did
floors
these
began
pass
to buckle,
inspection?
more and
Is there
more
no fucking
critical
inspectors?
supports began to fail. The enormous weight of these concrete floors began a domino effect and sent thousands of tons of steel and concrete pancaking
Yeah,
on
we'll
top
ignore
of
that
each
part of the flight log.
especially with
We'll
the
ignore
added
that
weight
part of the flight log.
heavy construction
Hillary.
materials
We'll
on
just
the roof
redact
at the
that.
western corner.
We'll mark that
Construction
out.
workers flee from the collapse, and from the ground,
Working there,
Canal
oh my
and
God.
Rampart Street is a disaster zone. The collapsing concrete floors cascade down the structure, ripping through the exterior
It's falling
insulation
onto cars.
and sending a large section of the facade tumbling down. The buck hoist or construction elevator detached from the structure and falls across Rampart Street, puncturing the roof of the Sanger Theater. The whole collapse was only around 30 seconds, but the resulting damage was shocking. In the end, 30 people were injured. Tragically, 3 construction workers were killed. With the surrounding streets covered in dust, the construction site was in utter devastation. The collapse made national and even worldwide news, many of which brought in experts who were already very critical on how something like this can happen.
Surprised we haven't
in
been hearing any
modern
of the
times.
traffic.
While officials began their search for who was responsible, the immediate concerns were what to do with the structure and how to get the trapped
check.
and deceased workers out of the building. Members of police and fire departments were worried about further collapse, and justifiably assumed the entire hotel was completely unstable. Meanwhile, another massive concern was about the 2 cranes. They held their place as the building crumbled around them, but of course that caused a great deal of anxiety on how much longer they would stay like that. They could come crashing down at any time. It didn't help that tropical storm Nestor was forming in the Gulf and could bring gusty winds to the area. So the city expedited their plans to remove the cranes and began work with a plan to carefully set off charges to fold the cranes over the existing tower. Though it didn't exactly go to plan. Yeah, so on October 20th, just a little over a week after the initial collapse, those explosives went off, and while the west crane did fall onto the building, the east crane most certainly did not. It came crashing down onto Rampart Street, standing almost vertically.
There we go.
The collapse didn't cause too much damage.
This is gonna get annoying quickly, doesn't it?
And their mayor turned to recovering the 2 bodies.
It's gonna get annoying very quickly.
And maintain flight level 340.
Maybe let me make it a little bit less obnoxious. Let's make it a little bit less obnoxious. Give me a minute. Traffic. No. We're gonna leave it real. We're gonna leave it real. But what we can do is turn down the volume here.
Raven Flight 702 climb and maintain flight level 360. Generic 135 descend and maintain flight level 340. Descend and maintain flight level 360 Raven Flight 702.
Why it's being so... There we go.
Albuquerque Center SkyWest for 166 flight level 300. SkyWest for 166 Albuquerque Center, continue to GABB.
There, now it's less obnoxious.
Trapped within the structure, and then getting it demolished altogether. Though that was a difficult task, as workers would later need to send in robots to chip away at
Gotta keep
pieces
an ear on it a bit more,
dangling
though.
from cages above. By early 2020, nothing substantial had been done. Protests
Now it's a bit more normal.
speeding up the demolition process. Weirdly enough, I was there once again during
Should
this
have
time,
actual
filming
traffic.
the last
It's
few
so weird how there was no
segments of my
traffic
documentary.
before.
From various vantage points, I observed the partial collapse, and it was truly staggering on how massive it was. It was incredibly surreal to see, especially with a section of Canal Street.
Guys, I need an in-flight meal.
By this
I
point,
need a hostess to give me an in-flight meal. And does anyone have any microwavable food?
And despite a
I'm
lawyer
getting a
on
little
behalf
hungry.
of 1031 Canal Development, the holding company set up for the hotel and owned by the Kalis companies, saying that they were paying that money off, the city claimed that they had not received a cent. These developers were also disagreeing with the city on who will lead the demolition and how it will all come down. But work finally then got started in March of 2020. First with the demolition of the 2 historic buildings beside the site. They were taken down due to safety hazards, and by summer, crews began disassembling the mangled steel on the tower. After 10 months since the collapse, crews also recovered the final body that was trapped within rubble. Aside from a small fire,
stuck there for 10
serious
months?
demolition work got underway without any problems. And by the
Disgraceful.
1-year anniversary, much of the tower above the parking garage was slowly being taken down. By early 2021, the stronger concrete on the first few floors of the parking
132.9
garage
for
chipped
Charlie
away,
uniform
and the
Mike.
site was mostly cleared by April. This was a pretty massive accident that cost the lives of several
Albuquerque
people,
Center,
injured
November 6, 9er,
others,
Charlie
and had
uniform
altered
Mike,
the
11,000
lives of the
feet.
family members for those who were lost. As many claimed immediately after the accident, modern construction sites don't just collapse for one reason. There was serious neglect, and investigators wanted to find out who was at fault. So, the search was on. 1031 Developments and their owners, the Kalis family, were already facing multiple lawsuits, including one from the city of New Orleans. It was also
Of course they were.
revealed that Kalis had hired undocumented immigrants and committed other minor infractions. They obviously pled their innocence, stating it was material and engineering factors that led to the disaster. And, well, they're likely not wrong about that. In
Not
OSHA's
wrong, but,
report
like,
on
no
the
shit.
accident, a major design flaw was uncovered. See, the top 3 floors were always going to feature penthouses with higher ceilings. From the
Popcorn?
very
Nice,
start,
nice.
developers
Popcorn
got the
sounds
approval
good
to
right now.
raise the height restrictions to 190 feet, which would not only allow for a taller building, but allow for these penthouses to have some extra room. However, once Hard Rock signed on to the project and added all of those extra amenities like a rooftop pool, Kalis went to the city again to raise the height another 10 feet, making the tower 200 feet in total. This would allow those penthouses to each have very tall 13-foot ceilings. However, the city wasn't willing to give them any additional height allowances, and they were forced to keep that 190-foot restriction. But they still wanted to keep those high penthouse ceilings, and to do
Of
that,
course
they would
they
need to
did.
fit thinner beams that support the floors above. Thinner
Of
beams for the
course.
floors means higher ceilings, getting to that 13-foot ceiling height despite the tower only being 190 feet. In addition to this, the decking, which is the metal sheets that concrete for the floors would be poured on top of, was originally slated for 16 gauge. However, as WWL-TV reports, without the approval from the city, it was changed to a much thinner 22 gauge, over
Of fucking
66%
course it
thinner,
was.
making the cost of the material much cheaper, but also far weaker. A change like this would be fine as long as the space between the walls and the steel beams were properly supported with additional columns. However, the final construction plans showed that only one extra support was put in for 2 floors. Engineers who spoke to WWL-TV claimed that those floors would likely need double the columns that were already in place, and the results of not doing so aren't all that hard to understand. If the space between the walls and the
Traffic up
beams
there.
weren't supported, a
At the
heavy
store.
load in this vulnerable area made so by the thin decking could potentially cause catastrophic damage, and it may explain why these temporary shoring poles were beginning to bend. And there were even more errors identified, like balconies not having
Supposedly.
rebar in them like they probably should have, and when steel beams that were ordered came in short and the bolt holes weren't matching up, they were just welded together. According to OSHA, they did not meet the specified load requirements. In fact, the stress
making
load
good
on them
progress.
likely exceeded several 100% on what they were designed to withstand. There was also negligence on the city's end as well, as inspectors failed to make site visits even though they approved critical aspects of the construction,
700
like the
miles.
penthouse concrete pool. Investigations also found that some of the visits they actually made were done by unqualified city inspectors, signing off on stuff they didn't have a full understanding of. The cherry on
You're a
top was
dark
the fact
mood.
that
The
the
real
New
one of
Orleans
this has a
permit
dark
office
mood.
doesn't have an engineer on staff that would look for issues in the submitted
Kind of an
blueprints.
achievement.
It's possible that if they did have someone there, they could have raised the red flag on these unsupported floors. OSHA moved forward with issuing serious fines against the project's engineer and the steel supplier. As for criminal charges, it wasn't exactly as swift as citizens and family members would have hoped. In June 2021, the lead investigator for the criminal case was abruptly fired by the New Orleans Inspector General due to, in my opinion, some silly reasons, like standing too close to the Deputy Inspector General during COVID social distancing, conducting work from her boyfriend's apartment even though she was quarantining after contracting the disease, and for a few other reasons, all of which she had alibis for. Out of work, and even finished her report, which she was going to recommend criminal charges at the time she was fired. This set the new investigators back, who had to build a brand new report and try and replicate some of her work. Meanwhile, the district
dark
attorney's
mood.
office claimed that they wanted to hold people accountable. That's great, but they said they needed more evidence, which they claimed to be would be in OSHA's
right
full
there,
unreleased
topographic map.
report. The only problem was that
Probably
OSHA
want
was
that,
not going
though.
to hand over that report since it was being used in
Probably
other
want
litigation.
that.
This whole mess just
Especially 'cause
tied
we're
up
going
the
to the
systems
mountains.
for literally years, and to the
I don't
families of
think
those who were
it's
lost
that
detriment, it was
much
announced that a
issue.
grand
I already
jury
pre-planned
decided
it,
there was
so-
not enough evidence to build a criminal case against
Topographic
anyone.
map off.
Nobody in this disaster would be held accountable. So what's going to
There.
happen to the actual site now? Well, at this point, the land
Now
sits
it's in dark
vacant.
mode.
It's partially used for parking, and there are some foundational scars
2432
over top the
camera.
land, with just the nubs of steel where the cranes use to stand. The original developer, in
124.325
fact, still owns the
for
site,
Charlie
and they
Uniform
don't
Mike.
want it to stay like this. In fact, they want to get going on another development,
Albuquerque Center, November
potentially
6
once
9er
again
Charlie
with Hard
Uniform
Rock.
Mike
The city
11,000
councilors,
feet.
however, do not want that. and they rescinded the height allowances, putting the restrictions back to
Fucking
70
ignored
feet.
me, bitch.
They made it clear that they do not want another high-rise built with those original exceptions. Kalis responded by suing the city, and the outcome of that is apparently still ongoing. This whole disaster was a complete mess that started from the day shovels went into the ground. From my critical eyes, this was an ugly building that was pushing the limits of what the city wanted, pushing the limits of how things would be done, seemingly cutting costs where they could, and trying to squeeze all of these plans in with a tight and stressful timeline towards the end. With all of the facts that were dug up during this investigation, it is pretty shocking and very upsetting that nobody has been held criminally accountable. And that's pretty shameful, as this whole thing affected a lot of people. It cost the taxpayers millions, caused damage to an iconic street, which in turn made small businesses lose out on customers, injured 30, and killed 3 people. They lost their lives over this, and it's pretty shocking how incompetently it was all handled. I mean, the developers dropped the ball, the engineers dropped the ball, the steel suppliers, the city inspectors, the permit office, the district attorney, inspector general, everyone dropped the ball on this. It's truly an astounding series of events that have all led to this promising new Hard Rock Hotel to be canceled in the most devastating way.
Oh my god.
Anyway, guys, my name is Chase.
The longest
and
flight I've
thank
ever
you
flown.
very much.
7.5 hours. Basically 8 hours. I flew from South Florida to Addison, Texas, which is in Dallas, and we split it in half, and we were in small little Cessnas that only went 110 knots. So we pretty much stopped. I think we stopped somewhere in Missouri. I think I would have to get the map open for the night. So it was like 6.5 hours flying the first day, then wake up next day is 7.5 hours of flying. And that was then I did it again on the way back, because we had to bring the planes back. We were taking them out of the flight school area. We were taking them out of Florida for a hurricane. And I also flew this exact airplane, like this exact model, everything the same. It actually had a worse GPS. It had a way worse GPS from South Florida to Georgia, Atlanta. It was about a 5.5 hour flight, same as this one. But we had a busted left fuel, spare fuel tank. In the right one, we would only fill up to half. So we had to stop in Jacksonville for fuel halfway. If we had full fuel and we had a working tank, so these tanks, the auxiliary tanks, they're not metallic. They're actually made of like a rubbery, leathery material, and they crack when they dry. If they stay dry too long and not maintained, they crack. They're not required for the flight as long as you have the main fuel tanks and you mark them inoperable down here. But he had, so this tank was never filled, and because of that we would never fill this one, because it would leave the plane off level. You want to keep it equally level, so we'd only have the fuel tanks on the tips. So we're basically like only at 60% fuel the entire time. It's been 90 minutes about, so we're going to swap fuel tanks here in a minute. That's good timing.
Spirit Wings 2511 heavy descent and maintain flight level 260. United 217 tree descent and maintain flight level 340.
Alright, we're going to swap fuel tanks here, so we're going to put the auxiliary, put the fuel pumps on. Oh, cool, it's doing this again. So, come on, controllers. Controllers, please. There we go. So, Alexa, dismiss. So, fuel pumps on. No! No! Okay. So the right engine keeps cutting out because we actually can't flip it. So we have to do this with the mouse. Right aux tank.
Southwest 1475 climb and main 132.01.
I love that. That's so stupid. And then turn the fuel pumps off. Alexa, 90. Yeah, they're super annoying to twist. I couldn't get it to go this way. It kept just going down. That was super annoying. But now we're on the auxiliary fuel tanks. See how it swapped over? The aux fuel tank light is on. Switch that to aux tank. So if we want to check the main tanks, you see it defaults to it now. So the main tanks actually have less fuel than the auxiliary tanks. So now we'll run these until probably near empty. I'd do like 25 pounds left on both, and then swap them back to the mains. This keeps the aircraft balanced, and you don't want to have like too much of the mass too close to the wing, but too close to the root of the wing. Probably, I forget why though. Maybe that's not true. I might be I'm pulling that out of my ass. I think it has something to do with multi-engine maneuverability. If you lose an engine, you don't want to have like unequal weights on the wings like that. Our tanks in the both wings. Yeah. So there's 4 fuel tanks. Tank, auxiliary tank. And then there's the right main tank and the right auxiliary tank, and you control them from here. And you can actually cross feed. You can make the right engine fuel from the left auxiliary tank, and the left engine fuel from the right auxiliary tank if you need to. Just say this one bursts or you run out of fuel on this one, or something went wrong. It's good to be able to mix it up. That, and if like don't have fuel in this one and that one goes out, but you have fuel in this one and not that one.
American 1638 climb and maintain flight level 370. Spirit Wings 2511 heavy descent and maintain flight level 260.
Let's find a new video.
So there's this common myth that if someone drops a penny from the Empire State Building, that by the time it hits the ground, it'll be going so fast that it can kill a guy. And Mythbusters tested this, and so did Veritasium, and they both said that it's false, as coins will fall on their flat side and won't be travelling fast enough to do any damage. But they are forgetting something. If it was me standing on top of the Empire State Building throwing pennies off doing the world's cheapest terrorist attack, I'd be throwing them like this, putting some spin on them so they fall on the skinny face the whole way down. And they also forgot about Aussies, as we have these bad boys, the 50-cent coin, the heaviest coin in circulation, weighing 10 times more than a penny. And it's also built like a ninja star with these sharp points. It's almost like our government designed them to kill New Yorkers. So today, I'm going to put these coins to the test and see if a falling coin can actually kill you. Alright, now the first thing I did was grab a bunch of 50-cent coins and went into my garage and started throwing them at the wall. And I was pretty happy with what I saw. Some nice big holes. And also the spin I was putting on the coins seemed to make them stay on the skinny side. But I have no idea how fast I'm throwing them. So I made this measuring stick with lines every 10 centimeters and then used this camera filming at 240 frames per second to see how fast they go.
180 gallons an hour. 180 in each tank. Should be good. Should be good.
And this makes absolutely no sense. Either I'm really bad at maths, or I should be signed to a Major League Baseball team. Because in one frame, the coin traveled 20 centimeters. So if we times that by 240, we get 48 meters a second, which is 170 kilometers per hour, which is faster than the fastest baseball pitch ever. And that's even with my bad form trying to not break my arm on my belt set. But my maths must be right, so I bought a device I've dreamed of having ever since I was a 5-year-old.
Your low poly coin
should give accurate speed measurements. So So I added some extra protection to the chronograph to stop me from doing that again, and then threw some coins through it. And that was disappointing. Turns out I can only throw a coin at 30 meters a second or 110 kilometers per hour. Okay, now that we know I can throw coins kind of fast, I need to work out the terminal velocity of a 50-cent coin. And to do that, I'm going to copy what Adam Savage did in Mythbusters and make a wind tunnel. And he used acrylic tube, which is kind of expensive, so instead I just ate some yogurt.
All the yogurt he has to eat. No, you're wasting the
With
yogurt.
some plastic sheet to make this tunnel. Then I just slapped a leaf blower on the bottom with a basket that I stole from Bunnings, so the coin doesn't fall back inside and blow up the leaf blower. And this isn't really working. I think it's too wide and the air isn't flowing through evenly, so I made a smaller one.
Ooh, cutting the holes, smart.
And now it works. And by drilling holes in the side, I can also control the airspeed. And at the bottom, it's coming in at 70 kilometers per hour, and in the top, it's around 50. And you can see that now the 5-cent coins, which are similar to pennies, flutter around and stay in one spot in the tube, meaning its terminal velocity on the face is around 60 kilometers an hour, which is what the Mythbusters estimated it to be. Then I tried spinning the coin.
191 knots. We're gonna get there in no time, chat. Our next waypoint is in 74 miles.
So I bumped up the airspeed to 80 kilometers an hour and tried again.
Where are we?
And that also went through. And in spinning it on the skinny face increased the terminal velocity to 120 kilometers an hour, which is where it started to dance around and fly in one spot. Alright, now what about a 50-cent coin?
So we came from...
And that falls straight through the tube.
Came from here.
So I bumped
We've
their
gone
airspeed
quite the
up to
distance
150
already.
kilometers, which is as fast as this air.
We're over here now.
measure.
And we have this to go.
And the 50-cent coin just falls right through. And apparently this air blower
That
goes up
far,
to
honestly.
270 kilometers per hour. So I put it on the maximum speed and spun
So
in
let's look at the
50
flight
cent
plan.
and it still makes it all the way through. So either the leaf blower isn't actually doing 270 kilometers an hour, or the terminal velocity of a 50-cent coin on its skinny face is more than that. So I'm just going to say it's at least 270 kilometers per hour. And now that I know that, I need to figure out some way to fire the coin at that speed to see how much damage it does. My first is blowguns, but they would be way
640
too
miles
powerful. I'm
to
going to
go.
try to avoid making a gun in this video. And
We're
after
obviously not
looking around
going
my
there
garage,
directly.
The easiest thing I could think of was my
But
speed guns, which I have a lot of because I'm compensating for
should
something.
be
I have a really tiny
193 knots divided by 640.
penis. You are really
Alexa,
bad at
640 divided by 193.
that. Okay, I cut off the rubbers and then welded some bar together and attached it all to the
3.3
stock from
hours.
the camera gun I made years ago. And then I put this Chinese slingshot
So
mechanism
about
on the
3.5
top
hours
and
until
loaded
we're
it up.
there. Making good time. Making good time. We're going faster than I expected. We have a really good tailwind now. What is the airspeed to stress this plane? Technically, the yellow arc starts around, so that's 150, 160, 170, 180, 183 knots is like the max you want to take this thing.
And this is
normal
absolutely terrifying
situation.
to look.
If you have
I was
pure
expecting to
smooth
find out
air
how
and
much
you're in a
damage my
descent,
fingers did to my garage wall.
no other risks. You can take it
But
up to
eventually I
200, but
managed to
then the
fire
red
some
line up here is the VNE speed. Here, that's you never want to exceed that. That's
At
when you'll
first,
start
I
having
liked what
risks
I
of
saw,
structural damage
so
to
I
the
attempted
aircraft.
to shoot it through the chronograph.
So that'd be at 210, 20, 233 knots. About is the max you want to go. Well, max you can take this plane before it starts breaking things.
They went through and said 25 meters.
Technically, that's like I think that's 10% below VD. So the red line is called VNE. The speed you never want to exceed.
Well, that's very
like never
disappointing,
exceed.
so I
That's
need to
the
come up
NE.
with something
There is a
else. Then I saw my
VD speed,
grinder
which was
and I thought I could probably use
tested
it like one of those
when the
ball
aircraft was
things.
certified, where that is the point of disintegration when airframe damage is pretty much guaranteed to like happen. Parts will start breaking and warping, and you pretty much are almost at the point. We're pretty much at the point where the aircraft will disintegrate in the air. Wings will rip off and stuff like that.
Never mind, it didn't go fast enough. So
It's like a
I'm going
10%
back to
buffer,
this
but you
vegan
never really
idea.
even
This
want
time
to.
I'm
You
gonna make it
don't
stronger
even want to be
by
cruising in the
making
yellow
quicker,
arc unless you have
thinner
perfectly
rubbers,
smooth
which
air.
should be easier
We
for me
wouldn't
to
really be able to
stretch.
cruise
And
in
I
the
also
yellow
made
arc
a nice
because
smooth track with this wood
the air's so thin up here and we don't have turbocharged
and I'm
engines,
also
so we
not
don't have
gonna
the
rely on that
performance
slingshot trigger from
to
China,
push it
not because it's
beyond.
bad
Like the
or
throttle's
Chinese,
full forward
but
right
just
now. I have
because
the throttle
somehow
all the way
lost it while
forward.
taking it
Let's see how
apart.
much
So I'm gonna design my own
in the
trigger.
manifold
And after
pressure we have.
sketching up some design, this is what I came
Can't
up
go any
with,
higher than that because of the thin
which didn't
atmosphere
seem
up
to
here.
work. So I made
If we
it
go
out
lower and
now,
closer to the
which should
ground, we could
hopefully be
technically get our
strong enough
airspeed
for the
higher,
rubbers.
but our actual ground speed would be about the same
Also,
because
I
the
learned
wind is
something
slower
pretty cool
down
from
there.
your mum last night, and
The
you
air
kind
is
of
more
knot
dense,
called a
which would give us
constrictor knot, which works really well
more
for
drag.
tying rubbers together. And after slapping myself a couple of times,
Technically, if we had a turbo, the density of the air wouldn't matter, so we could go. Our airspeed would be just as
finally got
fast
the rubber
at any altitude.
configuration right, and the fastest
Get the
speed
advantage
I
of
recorded
the better winds at altitude
was
and the thinner
215 feet per second,
and the thinner
or
drag,
230
meaning
kilometers
that
per
basically
hour.
there's less
That is
air at
fast enough for
altitude.
me. And I don't know why
So
these weaker rubbers were stronger, but maybe it's something
airfoils
to do with the
operate based on
lightness
how
of the
much
coin and the speed at which
wind
these
speed, like
lighter
airspeed,
quicker
is going
rubbers
around
can
their
travel.
foils.
Or maybe it's just because they're pink. Now I just need to shoot some stuff with them.
So
And
if
I'm
the
gonna
air is
start
thinner,
with
the
a
aircraft will
wood
still
light,
generally
which I've heard
operate at
from
the same
people online
airspeed,
is
but it will
similar
be
to
going
strength
through the air
of
quicker
humans'
because
balance,
there's
which
less
seems
of it.
wrong. But if it means
So
I
there
can
is
shoot
a
through it,
simplified
then I'm gonna say it's
explanation.
accurate.
Go get some food. Can you get me some Cheez-Its, Kiwi? Hey, what, are you gonna parachute out and fly back up? You a superhero now? Go to the town that we just passed and buy me some Cheez-Its from the local, shopping mart, please.
Went straight through.
And the coins easily went through and also managed to stay on the flat edge. So we know that a coin traveling 230 kilometers an hour can go through plywood. Okay, now I need a real head. And I was going to make a ballistic head like all the gun YouTubers, but I've never trusted the plastic skulls inside.
Our ground speed would not be as high if we
So
were
instead,
closer
I
to
just
the
bought a
ground right
pig
now.
head, which is similar in weight and size to most Americans.
Where are we? Let's change the weather real quick. Let's see what it looks like around us right now.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Oh wow.
Hey! Look, big falling! Oh wow.
And that went in so much deeper than I thought it was going to. Going
That-
all the way through the cheekbone, probably like an inch deep into the head.
3, 2, 1.
It all bleeds together. You're flying at night. You don't really keep track
And
of
that time I
time and where
aimed
you're
for the
going.
skull, and the coin went straight through, bearing its...
Let's look around a little bit. All these trees.
American 1956 descent and maintain flight level. Skywest 4884 climb and maintain flight level 370. Southwest 53. Descend and maintain flight level 280 Southwest 651.
Sort of pretty in like a bumpy way.
Climb and maintain flight level 360.
We still got a bit of a ways to go.
Descend and maintain flight level 370 Skywest 488.
Go back to real time. It looks like the Earth is flat. Yeah, that's what every pilot knows. The Earth is actually flat. We just hide the fact from the public. All right, closest airport. Its altitude 7,000 feet field elevation. Damn.
Descend and maintain flight level 320 American 1956.
All right, let's go back to the map and get the video back open.
Climb and maintain flight level 360 Southwest 4301.
itself like 2 inches into the head. And that confirms that a 50-cent coin traveling at 230 kilometers per hour would kill you. But I'm still not happy with this. I need to do a real test from a proper height.
Climb and maintain flight level 370.
And a ticket to New York is $2,000. So instead I 3D printed this magazine for the 50-cent coins and glued it onto this drone dropping device. And now when I press this button, the wire falls off, releasing the coins. I also put the magazine on an angle so the coins hopefully roll out with some spin instead of dropping straight out. Now the only problem is that I need to be underneath the drone while it's dropping potentially deadly coins, but I'll deal with that later. So then I went out to a spot that hopefully shouldn't have any children running around.
Oh my god, look at
it.
this. So cute.
Ah.
Hey, it works.
It works? That's working.
Why is it not listening to me though?
Wait, is it not coming down? Wait, what are you doing? Do you know? Maybe you don't know how to operate it.
And I'm having some drone troubles, which I just chose to ignore. And I lay down a piece of 9mm plywood as the target with some skulls on it, which I don't think I have any chance of hitting.
It just doesn't really feel like a science experiment, you know?
See what this is.
In this car park that we're not meant to be in the wind, trying to drop something off a drone that doesn't come. And can we set up the table so we can hide underneath it? Yes. I don't want a coin in my head.
Little town right here.
Okay, as soon as I got the drone in the air, I could tell it wasn't happy with the extra weight I added on, and the drone
Tiny
wouldn't come
town.
down. So I figured it was best
Pine
to deal
Hill.
with that later and take it up to 200 meters or 600 feet in case I don't get another chance to drop them.
It's gonna come off.
Alright, go. Oh, what if can you still see it?
110.
50.
Dude.
Recording on that. You're gonna run out.
Aye.
Drop.
I feel like I'm Palestinian.
Drop.
Wait 1 second. It's gonna move so much. Okay, ready? Wait.
Vehicles or cars, which is weird. I turned those on.
It looks like it's coming towards us.
Maybe over here. How long does it take for a coin to fall?
I don't think these guys are going to be able to aim it. It's going to be way too difficult to aim these things.
Way back there.
That took a very long time.
That's somewhere in the bushes.
Oh, I was trying to get the mouse first. I was trying to get the
And we
toolbar to
weren't
hide.
really sure what happened, but after watching the footage again, you can see the coins didn't spin on the flat face at all, and once they were dropped, they took flight and spun 200 meters sideways out of frame.
The same reason that a basketball
I'm
will
actually very
have
glad they didn't spin on the skinny edge.
basically
as
the
they were heading
aerodynamics
right
of
for
it
Alexa
force
in
it
the
to
car.
rotate,
And also,
and
I
then
might
that
have murdered these
causes it
passers
to
by, which I didn't
actually go in a
notice.
direction.
So after spending 30 minutes getting the drone down,
Okay. It's a nice half an hour descent.
we headed out to a dam which is 45 meters tall or 100 meters off with spin.
Yeah, you look like a goblin. You're getting vertigo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna throw coins on you, I swear.
They're not going to be able to hit
Oh, it's
it.
alright.
No way they're going to be able to hit it.
Whoa,
Oh,
hello.
close enough.
And it is really cool seeing the different spin makes. And the coins fell in a dead straight line on the skinny face the whole way down. And they also did some decent damage to the plywood, even though they hit it only doing like 100 kilometers per hour.
That would hurt.
Dude, you'd be bleeding, like a lot.
You would be bleeding. That's in 40 meters. And what the Empire State Building's 10 times higher than that. That's high.
It was.
It was.
Oh wait, no, that's not the Twin Towers.
So I reckon
my
that if someone
God.
spun a coin like this off
What
the
a
Empire
joke,
State
Jesus
Building, it would stay
Christ.
on the skinny edge and reach speeds of at least 270 kilometers per hour, which is
Check
more
on.
than
Thank you for
enough
the sub.
to
Thank
pierce
you,
your
thank you,
skull
thank
and
you,
kill
thank you. 15 months.
Which is why I recommend everyone in New York walk around with a peak
Appreciate
head
it,
above
thank
them
you.
at all times. Thank you so much for watching. If you like that, please subscribe and check out some of my other stuff.
Alright. What should we watch now? What video now? I don't want to watch any food videos. It's gonna make me hungry. It's gonna make me really hungry. When he sleeps, does he dream and make noises? Sometimes. If he dreams, he'll make like yelping and like noises. Like he'll like make like throat noises. It's really cute. When you're asleep. Right now he's not making any though. Oh, look at him, he's so cute. Is there any other long form videos we can find?
American 209er 7 descend and maintain flight level 320.
Hmm.